Hello, good evening. This is UTV Live.
Tonight at 6, charged with murder. As Wayne Reid's funeral takes place in Coleraine, a man appears in court accused of killing him.
Also ahead, more calls for Unionist unity. The DUP asks for talks with the next leader of the Ulster Unionists. We're live at Stormont.
And as the Economy Minister brands Trump's tariffs outrageous, we have all the reaction.
Plus the rest of the day's news, weather and sport, including
Belfast goes global as WWE rolls into town.
I'm 75 years old and I just love wrestling.
A man has been charged with the murder of Wayne Reid in Coleraine. His body was found at a house in Society Court last week.
The 43-year-old's funeral took place earlier today as the man accused of killing him appeared at Coleraine Magistrates Court. Nathan Hanna reports.
A police escort arriving at court as the man accused of the murder of Wayne Reid appeared in the dock. Mr. Reid, who was 43 and had links to Scotland, was found dead in Coleraine 1 week ago. The court heard that he died as a result of internal abdominal bleeding caused by blunt force trauma. Appearing in Coleraine Magistrates Court today wearing a grey tracksuit was Daryl Joseph Shaw. The 33-year-old of no fixed abode in Belfast spoke only to confirm that he understood the charge against him. The court heard details of a pre-prepared statement by Shaw in which he said, "I did not murder Wayne Reid." A detective sergeant said an iron bar had been identified as part of the investigation and objected to bail. Shaw was refused bail and remanded into custody, with the case adjourned to the middle of February. This afternoon, a service for Mr. Reid took place at a funeral home. He was laid to rest in Drumray Presbyterian Churchyard. The police investigation into his death continues. 5 people, 1 man and 4 women are still being questioned. Nathan Hanna, UTV Live.
The current Ulster Unionist leader, Mike Nesbitt, says the party's new leader, John Burrows, will probably meet with the DUP once he takes up his role at the end of this month. The DUP leader has written to the incoming Ulster Unionist leader to explore the possibility of Unionist unity. And Gavin Robinson says he hopes the change of leadership will provide an opportunity to discuss the issue. Well, let's speak now to our political editor, Tracy McGee, who is live at Stormont. So what has the DUP leader been saying, Tracy?
Well, Paul, Gavin Robinson in his weekly newsletter to members let it be known that he has written to John Burrows asking for a meeting with him to discuss cooperation with the two parties. Now, he also gave what is now a weekly event, his press conference here in the Great Hall, and he was asked about the whole idea, and he said that the reason why Unionist cooperation, while it is supported, very much supported by Unionist voters, why it hasn't taken off is because quite often there is what he describes as a personal discord, and he clearly believes the John Burrows becoming leader of the Ulster Unionist Party offers a moment where there could be an opportunity for this.
Very often there have been electoral battles, as you know, in constituencies or across the province over decades, and some find it difficult to move beyond those. There's now the potential for a discussion with somebody who is newly in post, who is not confined by or bound to those experiences. So I'll explore those discussions. The opportunity is there, and I think it's one worth pursuing.
Well, have we heard anything from the new Ulster Unionist leader?
Well, John Burrows actually doesn't take up his post until the 31st of January. He did issue a statement in which he said he would consider the idea. I was speaking to somebody close to him today who said that his attitude is one of cautiously constructive to the whole idea. Now, the current Ulster Unionist leader, Mike Nesbitt, did speak to reporters today, and it's fair to say he struck something of a sceptical note.
I think it's also fair for the new leader of the Ulster Unionist Party to ask why the leader of the largest Unionist Party is reaching out. And I'm sure he will do that when he meets Gavin Robinson, which he will do shortly after, I'm sure, taking up the reins on the 31st of the month.
The whole idea of unionist unity has been discussed for a long time. Is it a runner, Tracy?
Well, if you're a unionist leader, you can certainly see the attraction, Paul, can't you? Because what it would mean is if you can get some agreement with your other unionist colleagues, it means that you'll get more bang for your buck. You have more chance of returning a unionist representative. Take it even somewhere like the Westminster elections in Lagan Valley, or even in North Antrim in the Assembly elections. If there had been some sort of an agreement there, chances are you would have seen more unionists returned. So you can obviously see the attraction in this unionist cooperation. That's the pros. There is cons though, because first and foremost, if you are a party leader, you want to ensure that your party is fairly represented, that you get a fair crack of the whip. And also the whole idea of what do you agree on? For instance, the TUV have said that they want to ensure that anyone that they would go into cooperation with are opposed to the Northern Ireland Protocol. And then finally, this question of personalities. When you get down to the nitty-gritty, can you agree? Can you reach a trust where you can agree some sort of cooperation? So you take those three things: policies, personalities, and sharing out the pie. It means unionist unity or cooperation sounds good in theory, doesn't always work in practice.
Tracy McGee live at Stormont. Thank you.
There's been another development tonight in the rumbling row over the suspension of 19 boys from Laurel Hill College in Lisburn amid claims of disrespectful behaviour towards female staff. Well, parents of those teenagers have called for a review of CCTV, saying that they are defending their children and fighting back to clear their names. Well, our correspondent Sharon O'Neill has been following this story. Sharon, I understand that the parents have written a joint letter to the Board of Governors asking for an internal investigation.
That's correct, Rose. And just to recap again, 19 boys were suspended for one day after the principal claimed that they displayed disrespectful behaviour towards female staff. Referring to one incident, she claimed that in order to ensure a toxic culture of masculinity did not develop, she had set up workshops. That has caused a massive row, Rose. Parents say this is a complete overreaction, and that has sparked this call for an internal investigation and a review of all CCTV, which parents claim will clear the names of their children. Now, the Local Democracy Reporting Service has carried a number of letters from parents to the Board of Governors. The latest one said that the toll it has taken on some of the children is immense. They're too stressed and worried to go to work, and the claim is that they have become labelled villains in all of this. The school is not commenting. The Education Authority says meetings have already taken place with parents, and that a full review will be carried out into what has happened.
It'll be interesting to hear the outcome of the investigation. Sharon O'Neill, thank you very much.
The Economy Minister says Donald Trump's threat of tariffs over his desire to take over Greenland are outrageous. Kiva Archibald is to convene the executive's tariff task force later this week.
The DUP has said that global politics is going through a cycle of drama and doesn't believe that the tariff threat will come to pass, amid a warning that the levies could result in nearly $200 million in additional costs for Northern Ireland goods entering the United States. Here's our economics correspondent, Jordan Moats.
There's an Arctic breeze sweeping through international relations. It's all over Greenland and the United States' quest to take over that part of the world. The people there have rallied against Donald Trump. The international community is against him as well. In an attempt to get his way, he's turned to a familiar tactic: tariffs. The threat is one which the Prime Minister cleared his diary this morning to address.
Alliances endure because they're built on respect and partnership, not pressure. That is why I said the use of tariffs against allies is completely wrong. It is not the right way to resolve differences within an alliance.
There is a concern the drama unfolding thousands of miles away could have a direct impact on Northern Ireland. With retaliation on the cards, the potential for divergence between UK and EU could have an impact. The Economy Minister has written to the governments in London and Dublin to ensure the unique trading circumstances post-Brexit here are taken into consideration.
We had a negotiated settlement between Britain and the US. We also had a negotiated settlement between the EU and the US. And now we have this additional threat of tariffs. I think that it's outrageous. It can't go unchallenged. And everything does need to be on the table. But obviously we would like to see a negotiated outcome if you can rely on a negotiated outcome with this particular president.
I don't think we have any clarity on what the President of the United States ultimately wants to achieve, or whether he's achieving it already by just having a greater focus on military presence within Greenland. But we're going to have to go through a cycle of drama around all of this, and I trust, just as was the case in the past, the threat and potential damage that would be brought through tariff differentials will not be reached.
At the heart of all of this are businesses who spent 12 months grappling with change and instability. Many had hoped last year's trade agreement with the US signalled more stable times, a thought they now know was premature.
At a basic level, we're looking at about 170 million in additional costs for our goods entering what is our biggest market outside of Europe. So that means challenges for our competitiveness, that means challenges for margins, and ultimately it's a big issue for a number of our members who are maybe looking at consumer markets or machinery. So it is quite significant, but we're not there yet. It is the 1st of February, and we're certainly putting all our faith in diplomacy over any sense of disruption at this point.
We've been here before. There was a resolution of sorts then. Can there be one this time? That's the question. Jordan Moats, UTV Live.
Several homes in North Belfast have been evacuated following the discovery of a suspicious object this afternoon. Eaya Street is closed at the junction with Brookhill Avenue, and motorists are advised to seek an alternative route. Inquiries are ongoing.
Police are investigating reports of explicit AI images shared amongst pupils at a County Armagh school. The headmaster of the Royal School Armagh said the matter had been brought to his attention and referred to the authorities. Police have confirmed they are engaging with the school as well as the pupils and parents affected.
The process to select a jury in the inquest of Noah Donohoe is underway. Noah's mother, Fiona, attended Belfast's Laganside courts today. However, the inquest has yet to be officially opened by the judge overseeing the hearing. A sifting process is now taking place to select a final jury panel of 12 members. The teenager's inquest comes more than 5.5 years after his body was discovered in a storm drain in North Belfast. Well, still to come on the programme. It's just the prescription for Donegal as they lift the Dr McKenna Cup.
Wrestling superfans descend on Belfast as Monday Night Raw goes live from the Odyssey.
And we have some wet and windy weather on the way through the rest of this week. I'll have all of the details coming up shortly.
And it's time now to look at the headlines making tonight's ITV News at 6:30.
And here's Mary Nightingale.
Coming up on the programme, Sir Keir Starmer says a trade war is in no one's interests as Donald Trump prepares to hit Britain and European allies with fresh tariffs over Greenland. We're in Spain after dozens of people were killed when 2 high-speed trains crashed. 3 days of national mourning are declared for the country's deadliest rail disaster in more than a decade. And Prince Harry is back in London as his privacy trial against the publisher of the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday gets underway. Well, do join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
The brother of Ralph Cinco, who died along with his wife and unborn baby girl in a crash in County Antrim last Sunday, has said that there are no words which will make their grief any easier.
Antonio Cinco thanked everyone who attended last night's candlelit vigil in North Belfast. Sarah O'Kane reports.
A tragedy that has left those here heartbroken. Last night a vigil was held in North Belfast to honour Catherine Keith Cunninez Cinco, her unborn baby girl Kate and husband Ralph Anthony Cinco, who were all killed in a horror crash near Nuts Corner over a week ago.
There really is no explanation that's going to make us understand our loss. and there's going to be no words that's going to make it any easier. My family has been left with grief, but the support that we've seen here tonight and the last few nights has been astronomical, unbelievable and incredible.
Prayers were said as this community comforted the family and each other.
Filled with gratitude at the people coming to express their solidarity, their condolences in this great tragedy. Although it happened a week ago, the emotion is still very raw, very real and palpable. And so I'm very proud of the people here tonight who have taken time to come to be with us.
A requiem mass will be held in Liganeel on Wednesday before they are expected to be repatriated home to the Philippines. Sarah O'Kane, UTV Live.
Now it's time for sport.
And here's Ruth Gorman.
What a drive. John Mulholland Motors, sponsors of UTV Sport.
Good evening. Donegal got their hands on the first trophy of the year with a convincing win over Monaghan in the Dr McKenna Cup final at Healy Park. Jim McGuinness will be hoping his side can continue their good form going into the National League, which begins next weekend. Daniel Duffy was there for us.
It may only be a pre-season competition, but when there is silverware at stake, it always matters. Donegal flew out of the traps, Shane Malone grabbing his first goal for his county early in the game. The Ulster champions goalkeeper Gavin Mulroney scored two two-pointers on the day, this one helping his side into a 4-point lead at half-time. After the interval, Jim McGuinness' side upped the ante and simply blew Monaghan away with a mix of youth and experience. Undoubtedly, some stars of the future, but as Malone showed by notching his second goal of the match, they could be for the here and now. The future looks bright for the men from the hills.
That's time of the year now, not just the younger lads, but the senior players and people that have been outside the squad, maybe they're older lads that are all looking to get a go at it, and that's the beauty of it. And I suppose the competition lends itself to it in that respect. It's always good that for squad harmony.
It's obviously positive when you win a game, so we're happy enough that there's aspects of the game that we were quite content with. But there's wee bits of sloppy too, and I'd say Monaghan missed a lot of wides there and probably things to be disappointed with. So lost a lot to work on, and we'll look forward to Dublin next week.
So Donegal are the Dr McKenna Cup winners of 2026, but for all 32 counties in Ireland, the attention now turns to the National League, which begins next week. Donegal travel to Croke Park to take on Dublin. As for Monaghan, they welcome Armagh to St Tiernack's Park. Daniel Duffy, UTV Live at Healy Park in Omagh.
Congratulations to Jim McGuinness and Donegal. Now, Ulster Rugby will face Welsh side Ospreys in the last 16 of the Challenge Cup in April. And thanks to a 26-19 win over Stade Francais at the weekend, the match will be in Belfast after Richie Murphy's side topped their group.
Ulster almost looked to have topped their pool by half-time with a 26-0 lead on Saturday. But Stade Francais were the only side to score in the second half in Belfast. And at one point it looked nervy enough for Ulster before they got over the line.
The Munster game was probably as close as we've got this year to that 80-minute performance. The lads are disappointed in the second half. Yeah, we lost our way in the second half, but we showed great character. We'll pick out a few things that we can do better and we'll move on. The whole idea today was to get 5 points and top the pool, and we've done that, so we should be happy.
So it's job done for now in the Challenge Cup, and they have 2 more league games before the Six Nations break. Murphy is hopeful several of his players will be selected by Andy Farrell for his Ireland squad, which he names on Wednesday.
There's a number of players who are definitely further up the pecking order than they were this time last year, let's say. So that's on the back of the work that the guys are doing together in order to really putting on some good team cohesive moments.
Yeah, if that leads to call up, that's out of my hands. I was just trying to play as well as I can each game, and a team performance each game as well. So it's been an exciting year, and can't wait for the rest of the season as well.
Is it as good an atmosphere as you've been part of here?
Definitely, yeah.
Good to see Robert Balogun back in fine form. And back where it all started is James McLean. He's returned to Derry City on a multi-year deal to finish his career, and his brother Patrick has also re-signed for the club. James McLean, who won 103 caps for the Republic of Ireland, joins from Wrexham, where he captained the team and helped them claim back-to-back promotions. He says if he could finish his career winning a league title with his home club, it would be the perfect ending to his career.
But I can't wait to get started. This club hasn't won a league title since 96-97. I think for a club of this stature and on this island, I think that can't continue. So from the outside, looking on, you can have all opinions in the world, but now that I'm here, I have an opportunity to kind of help change that, and that's a major factor in why I'm coming home.
Believe it or not, I've actually been talking to James right from I actually came in. James was probably one of the first to come on the phone and tell me to make sure that this club stays in good hands. I think he actually threatened me a couple of times on the phone as well. But even then, you were able to see or listen to the passion that he had for this football club and the passion that he has for this city, but also what he's going to bring to our changing room and what he's going to, that experience and that passion and that discipline. And I think if there's anybody that you want to pick or hand pick to come in and do something like that, you'd be picking James.
An exciting signing for the Candy Stripes. Now, it wasn't to be for Rory McIlroy or Shane Lowry at the Dubai Invitational this year, but they both came very close. Lowry was leading by one shot on the final hole, but overhit from the 18th green bunker and it rolled into the water. He had to take a dropped shot, but was unable to chip in from there, so finished with a 69 and 2 shots behind the winner on 8 under. Rory McIlroy could have won it with this shot from the same bunker, but just edged past the hole. He finished with a 68 and also tied for third on 8 under.
I wasn't really focused on winning the tournament. I was just trying to sort of piece it together and make some good swings and try to hit a few more fairways. Which I did for the most part. Would have been nice to hit the fairway at the last to give myself a chance for birdie there. But yeah, overall it was a good first week back. You know, I felt like I learned a lot of stuff about my game, and you know, I wasn't very sharp, but you know, hopefully I'm a little bit sharper going into next week.
Now, congratulations to Michael Dunlop, who got his name on the Joey Dunlop Trophy once again at the Irish Racer Awards. Dunlop was crowned Irish Motorcyclist of the Year for the 2nd year in a row and the 3rd of his career. We'll hear from Michael in the coming days on UTV Live. Finally, Larne remained top of the Niffle Premiership after a 0-0 draw at Linfield over the weekend. They are 8 points ahead of Coleraine with a game in hand. And that is all your sport this Monday. Bye for now.
What a drive. John Mulholland Motors, sponsors of UTV Sport.
Well, actually, we stay with sport because thousands of wrestling fans are in Belfast tonight for an event being beamed right around the world.
Some of the biggest names in WWE are taking to the ring at the SSE Arena, where we can join our reporter Paul Riley. Paul, looks pretty busy in the background there. What's the atmosphere like?
Yeah, Rose, just to be clear, I'm not one of those big names. But the atmosphere here, well, I can't tell you much about inside, but outside, the crack is great. Well, the eyes of the wrestling world are on Belfast tonight for WWE Monday Night Raw. Tens of millions of people will be watching across the globe as it comes live here from the SSE Arena. There are belts up for grabs, there are titles up for grabs, and of course some of the biggest names in WWE are here in Belfast. Well, earlier we met some fans outside the Belfast Hotel who were hoping to meet their heroes. Dee, let's see what you look like underneath that mask. Ready? Reveal it. There we go.
Reveal the Rey Mysterio fan.
So Dee, how excited are you for the wrestling tonight?
Well, I don't know what to say, but I love wrestling. I'm 75 years old and I just love wrestling.
Good group of us, 13 of us, isn't it? Some of us are already here, but we're all looking forward to it.
What does it mean for Belfast to have such a huge event here?
Very big for that. So we've seen it last year, it came to Dublin, and it's kind of good. It's bringing sort of wrestling to some of the people who don't get to experience something like this.
Never ever thought we'd see a live WWE show from Belfast. Didn't think we had an arena big enough, to be honest.
Where have you travelled from today?
Cardiff.
So you're a big fan?
Yeah, I was in London on Friday as well.
What is the atmosphere going to be like, do you think, in the SSE Arena, Caleb?
Mental.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's going to be like burst me eardrums.
I'm a big fan of Dee there at the very start. Just some of the tens of thousands of fans here in Belfast tonight. Just to warn you, doors opened here at 6. The action starts at 7:30, so do expect a lot of traffic in and around the SSE Arena tonight.
O'Reilly, thank you very much. The weather, it's been a pretty grey and wet sort of a day.
And here's Louise with the forecast.
After a cold start, temperatures are expected to rise. UTV weather, sponsored by the Grand Rona R290 heat pump.
Hello there. Good evening. We had plenty of cloud around today and a few showery outbreaks of rain. Over the next couple of days, it will remain largely unsettled, turning wet and windy at times. It's all due to low pressure. We have a number of low pressure systems dancing around out in the Atlantic, heading our way through the next couple of days, and they will stall across us through the rest of this week. It's due to a blocking system, an area of high pressure out towards the east, preventing them from clearing through. So quite unsettled over the next few days. Today's rain, though, should start to fizzle out tonight. Quite a lot of low cloud across parts of County Antrim. Across the southeast and the southwest, we could have some dense low-lying fog develop during the early hours. In the coldest rural spots where temperatures fall below freezing, we could have some freezing fog. So if you are heading out over the next few hours, do take care. A cool and chilly start then tomorrow morning. Foggy conditions for most places, but it will brighten up very briefly for a time across eastern areas ahead of rain pushing through tomorrow lunchtime. Some heavy bursts there. The winds will really pick up along the east coast. County Down, County Antrim could see winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour and temperatures reaching highs of 8 or 9 degrees Celsius. So fairly mild for this time of year, but with the wind and the rain, you probably won't notice. Across the rest of Ireland, 2 warnings in place. Yellow warnings for wind and rain through tomorrow. Some heavy blustery showers pushing through, strengthening gales around the coast with highs of around 8 or 9 degrees Celsius. This week will remain rather unsettled, wet and windy weather at times, but as we get towards Thursday, the wind switch direction from a southeasterly to a northwesterly, so it will start to feel slightly cooler as we head into the weekend and into the start of next week. That is the very latest. Bye-bye for now.
UTV weather, sponsored by the Grand Rona R290 heat pump.
That's the way it is in Northern Ireland this Monday tea time. I'll be back with the next local bulletin at 10:30.
ITV News continues now with Mary Nightingale, but from Paul and me, and of course the entire news team here at UTV, have a very nice evening.
Good evening.